Jeff Odie Espenship is a United States Air Force fighter pilot and international airline pilot. As a popular motivational speaker, Odie uses his unique experiences to connect with audiences and explain how to work safely in a high-risk and sometimes dangerous environment. Odie is also the founder and owner of Target Leadership, an organization dedicated to teaching safety leadership and creating a positive safety culture. In today's program, Odie explains why calling a knock it off could save your life and gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, keep off the grass. Please pay close attention as Odie shares with us some important safety lessons that just might save your life. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff Odie Espenship.
Hey! Wow, it's great to be here. Thanks. We're going to focus on two more concepts. These concepts, if you embrace these at work, I promise you, it'll save equipment, it'll save material, it'll probably even save a life. The first concept, very simply, call it knock it off. This phrase is used by military fighter pilots to basically stop the work, listen, then reassess the situation. The second concept I want us to focus on, I'm going to bring up a buddy of mine who's an F-18 Marine fighter pilot, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about what it means to keep off the company grass. The actions and the decisions that you make before the job, during the job, and even after the job directly affect your life and the lives of those around you. My friends, you are fighter pilots, and that's why I want us to focus. Focus on this term, knock it off. Now, at your company, you may use speaking up or intervening or calling a timeout, but we use knock it off. So feel free to embrace it. Anyone can call a knock it off, right? It doesn't matter how long you've been with the company. If you're fresh out of training or you've been here for 30 years, anybody can speak up and call a knock it off. See somebody just getting into their emotional, irrational brain making snap decisions, right?
One knock it off, two knock it off, they knock it off, four knock it off.
You hear how quick that was? So you got to get those two congruent, and you won't know that until you've gone through all of these steps. And then, when everybody's situational awareness is up to speed, fight's on. Time to go back to work. You know, Winston Churchill had a great saying. It takes courage to speak up, and it takes courage to listen. Here we go. My job is to get him lined up between this fixed gun cross up here and this total velocity vector. Right in there, that's a valid shot. He knows it. He rolls to the left. I counter roll him to the right. I'm going to cut him off to the inside, but right in there, I start getting too close. I had to let him go. It's like a fish on, fish off. Isn't that a shame that nobody got to benefit from that lesson that we learned out there? Do y'all think we were the only fighter pilots that had ever happened to? Absolutely not. See, if it's happened to me, it's probably happened before, and statistically, it will probably happen again in the future. And the person that it happens again to in the future might not be as lucky as you are. So that's why it's important to share with each other those experiences that go on every single day in the workplace, because you work in reality. You see what really goes on out there when no one is looking over your shoulder. And the guy that I'm going to bring up next, he's got a very, very interesting story to tell. And he's also going to talk a little bit about keeping off the company grass. He's my good buddy, Wes Sharp. He's a Target Leadership speaker and facilitator. Wes, come on up here and tell us a story, man.
All right, thanks a lot,
brother.
Good to see you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. One day back in 1996, it was in November, started out just like any other day for me. I was on the flight schedule to fly a routine training mission with a squadron mate and fellow instructor pilot. You want to get yourself killed as a fighter pilot? Go out on a routine training mission, right? When you're reading the paper, that's how we always get killed, right? They're out on a routine training mission, didn't come back. And we had a mid-air collision going over 500 miles an hour. And it was my desire to get the job done that I rationalized away the need to call a knock it off. I thought it didn't apply in this particular case. We call it situational compliance. Doesn't really apply here, right? I've got my truck parked on a hill, but it's not a rig hill, so I'm not going to put the chalk's under the tires. Or I'm not going to get the proper PPE because it's a small job and the equipment's too far away. Situational compliance, right? We're going to follow the rules until when? The rules get in the way. And the utter look of shock on our faces, we were otherwise good to go, right? So as leaders and as co-workers, the challenge is to create a culture where people, when they see something, they feel compelled, if not duty-bound, to say something. If they see someone violating a rule, policy, or procedure, we want them to call a knock-it-off and stop the work so no one gets hurt. You can't walk on the Marine Corps' grass. When I heard this when I first joined, I thought, great, it's another way the Marine Corps is going to make my job more difficult than it really needs to be. If they cared about the grass so much, why don't they take better care of it, right? I mean, and make it look like a golf course green. And in fact, on desert bases where they don't bother to grow grass, they comb the dirt and outline it with rocks to simulate where the grass would be and dare you to walk on it. But we are humans, right? And I can distinctly remember one time when I was a brand new second lieutenant. I was late for a meeting. And you don't want to be late for a meeting in the Marine Corps, let me tell you. And I was late. And I looked up at the building in the front door and I took off in a straight line, straight across the grass, not even thinking about it. I was in a hurry. But they're hoping that when you have that weak moment, when you want to hurry through a job, not get the proper PPE on, maybe not chalk that truck, that somebody will notice it and they'll feel duty-bound to speak up, regardless of their experience level or how long they've been with the company. And because we're humans, they know they're going to get footprints in the grass, right? We're going to make mistakes. But what they're not going to tolerate is allowing a path to develop. A path means people are taking shortcuts, they're not following the rules, and what? Nobody's saying anything to them. It's become okay. It's become the way we do it around here.
We appreciate you having us out here. I love all of you. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.